Hello comic book people of the world, it's Wednesday, that means it's comic book day. Let me show you what I got. First up is X-Men Gold, issue number 6, Techno Superior Part 3. The new Sentinels, because there's always a new type of Sentinels that's out, is destroying New York. Again, all of the X-Men and the heroes of New York are trying their best to contain everything. Unfortunately, they're getting their asses handed to them. But lo and behold, Rachel Summers, who's calling herself Prestige for whatever reason, has a lot more power at her disposal than people have been giving her credit for. And she's the key to winning this battle. The Mighty Thor, issue number 20. We have a new Thor on the scene, and oh my god, I was not expecting who it was. I won't spoil it for anyone out there, but this is a must-read for any Thor fan out there. And I will say right off the bat, it is not Odin. A lot of people out there was suspecting that it may be Odin who's picking up the ultimate hammer from Thor in the Ultimate Universe, but it is not him. This is unexpected, and I like the twist that they put in. Superman, issue number 25, Black Dawn, the conclusion. Everything in this storyline is somewhat resolved, but I do gotta say the Manchester Black is a total douchebag, which is why he's such a great villain for Superman. Their moralities are on such different sides of the spectrum, they have to clash against each other. There was also an epilogue at the end of this issue that'll probably play out way later on down the line. It was also somewhat funny to see this on panel. Nightwing, issue number 23, Blockbuster, part 2. Poor Nightwing, he really got himself into something this time. It looks like in the next issue, he's gonna be fighting his way out from a dozen different villains. Tiger Shark is the new criminal mastermind in Bloodhaven, and it looks like Nightwing may have to team up with the new Blockbuster, which happens to be the brother to the old one, but there may be something else happening behind the scenes. Power Rangers issue number 16. This is the conclusion to the Dark Drakkon storyline, where Tommy has both the powers of the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, and he's still evil. This is an alternate dimension, timey-wimey kind of thing. This was a very cool storyline. The cover does kind of give away the final battle taking place between the two Tommies, but there is still something happening at the end of this issue that's going to lead into many more stories that's going to be happening later on. If you're not reading this series, I do recommend it. Even though this does keep a lot of the themes from the 1990s, it is much more adult, meaning that they do have some of the elements from the 1990s series, but it's still so much more past that to where it's very entertaining and it's very much like a regular comic book. Darth Vader, issue number 2. Lord Vader is continuing on his quest to obtain his red lightsaber. He has to obtain a kyber crystal, which in order for it to be red, it has to bleed. I don't know what that means exactly, but it seems as though he has to defeat another Jedi and take their saber and take their kyber crystal, which in essence is bleeding because he defeated them. I think, maybe, kinda, sorta. Regardless though, Lord Vader has to find a Jedi who's still alive. This is after episode 3, so most of the Jedi have been wiped out. Batman, issue number 25, Jokes and Riddles, part 1. This is more of a flashback storyline involving the Joker and obviously the Riddler. I was a bit disappointed because I was hoping that this may start going into the entire storyline involving 3 Jokers, which is killing me being that Batman has not even addressed this since he found out about it. Regardless though, this is a nice start to a storyline involving both Joker and Riddler. Finally, I got Shirtless Bear Fighter, issue number 1. And I will be very clear, this title is accurate. It's about a shirtless bear fighter. It was about a man who was raised by bears, although the bears themselves seem much more human-like. And even though he was on the bear side for a bit, something happened in his past to make him turn against them. The best way to describe him is that he has like superhuman strength and he's able to take on these bears, which the bears themselves also seem as though they have superhuman strength. This is a hilarious first issue, and I do have to say I'm a huge fan of it. And despite what you may see on this cover, he's actually naked, and it looks as though he has a very long schlong. Like for instance, if you've ever read a Class Comics title, most of those guys have very long pieces. This guy looks like he belongs in that universe. A crossover would be really darn awesome. That's my comic load for this week. I also got Iceman issue number 2, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. There's also a couple new issues of crossovers between Looney Tune characters and DC characters. Again, like I said in last week's video, these issues are much more adult than I was expecting. Definitely an interesting read if you have time to read them. So, what was your comic load this week? Leave comments down below and let me know. Anyways, I'll join you guys in another video very soon. Check out my Patreon site when you get a chance. Check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh my god, you know what would be a great crossover with Shirtless Bear Fighter? There's a Porky storyline going on in Class Comics. Logan, he loves to draw characters who look like bears. Seeing them cross over in this storyline would be badass.